This is the Loco Sports Lowdown Podcast. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett and Wes Kerr.
Hey, welcome, Loco Sports fans, to another edition of the Loco Sports Lowdown Podcast. I'm Justin Jarrett, joined as always by Wes Kerr, and today's show presented by Mickelson Law Group, our oldest and first sponsor, and still around supporting us to this day. So we appreciate you, Ryan, Tiffany, and the folks down at Mickelson for always helping us out and keeping us going here at Loco Sports. We got a great show on hand today, Wes. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, including playoff results as well as playoff brackets that have been coming out. All kinds of things to get to, man. We got former Loco high school stars who are doing big things at the next level. We'll do our Loco shout outs later on, but the first thing we got up after our intro is talking with some of those state champion golfers from Hilton Head Christian Academy. We got a few of them hanging out in the green room, enjoying the snacks and waiting on us. So how you doing, buddy? I'm looking forward to talking to these state champs. We had a bunch of terrific golf performances from the Loco up at the SCISA State Championships, and we got 3 of the champs waiting on us, but lots of other stuff to talk about. How are you holding up over there?
I'm doing well. We've been pretty busy. It's getting to be that time of year where we get all the playoffs coming up all at once. We got lacrosse. Unfortunately, May River falling in the semifinals, but a heck of a run there for the Sharks. But it is getting upon us where we're getting all the playoffs beginning throughout these next few weeks, and next week is really going to get rolling with the postseason year in these spring sports. I can't believe May 1st is on Monday. This spring season has flown by as it always does. This month's been fantastic. Of course, you have the Heritage, but then you got to witness so many terrific accomplishments, including what we're going to talk about in that golf state championship, Hilton Head Christian Academy picking up that state title. But a lot of fun stuff going on, and I'm excited to get things rolling on Monday. I mean, playoff sports. No matter what it is, if it's fall, winter, or spring, it's one of the favorite times of the year for me to cover. You got best on best, all the best players, all the best teams going up against each other, and you get so many games in such a short time. It's just so much fun to cover all of them. Such a short span with seasons on the line. There's just so much excitement, and spring sports heightens it even more because you got baseball, softball, soccer, golf, tennis, everything going on at once, and just makes it really exciting to cover.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to pull together an emergency podcast of the Loco Diamond dudes to break down all the playoff brackets and get us ready for baseball and softball starting on Monday, because we just saw the SCISA baseball brackets come out. So we'll have a bunch of games on Monday. Patrick Henry at home, Hilton Head Christian at home, Hilton Head Prep getting a first-round bye. And then, of course, we'll have the high school league playoffs starting up on Monday as well. So going to be a busy time, but let's talk some golf right now because, like I said, we got some guys waiting on us. You mentioned it there, Hilton Head Christian Academy capturing the Class 3A SCISA title by 2 shots over Hilton Head Prep. It was quite a battle between the 2 Loco teams. And then Heritage Academy also capturing the 1A title. So great showing from the Loco golfers, and 2 individual champs from the Loco as well. Sage Bradshaw, who will be on with us in a minute, as well as Michael Gavin from Heritage, both taking home state titles. So terrific performance by the golfers, and let's bring them in. Let's get the fellas in here. We got Sage Bradshaw, JP Reed, and Gabe Schmitz from the Hilton Head Christian Academy golf team. Welcome, fellas, and congratulations on that state championship. I guess we'll start with Sage, since he was the individual medalist, edging Gabe by 1 shot. Going into those 2 days, did you guys feel like you had the team to win a state title, or did you kind of surprise yourselves on day 1, finding yourselves at the top of the leaderboard?
I really think it was surprising, the fact that we threw a 1 under par in there, but I think we knew we had it all year. It was just a matter of us being able to put it together. It was real exciting for everybody, especially Mr. Spengler, our coach. He was pretty ecstatic, and we couldn't have been happier as a team.
All 3 of you, congratulations on taking down Hilton Head Prep. And it was a fantastic SCISA 3A tournament. It's gotten even sweeter to do it against your rivals and come out on top just a few strokes ahead. Just take me through that final round, really all those 2 days, and how that felt to achieve that result, and what it took to beat Hilton Head Prep, and just a fantastic rivalry for the state title.
I think it's cool because we always talk about rivalries in between Hilton Head Prep and Hilton Head Christian, but off the golf course, we're all best. I mean, we're all really good buddies, and We play golf together on the weekends together. So we went in there, had to take care of business, but right after our rounds, it was back to friendship and happy days. So it was pretty cool to beat Prep. And,
Yeah, matter of fact, we had a photo that JP's dad sent us of you guys all out to dinner together after the first round. After you guys took what was it, 8-shot lead after the first round. So yeah, the friendships are definitely deeper than the rivalries on the course. But Gabe, terrific performance from you too. I mean, I think most weeks you would think that 60 and 60 or 70 and 67 would get it done. But your buddy Sage was a little bit better. But tell us a little bit about your experience coming over. I believe you were JP2 last year, right? Came over to Hilton Head Christian, and just what it's been like being on this team and the experience of winning a state title.
Yeah, thank you. So last year was my first year coming down here.
Yeah.
JP2 was the first school that we looked at, so that was kind of spent the year there. The golf wasn't – we played the state tournament last year, and that was about it. And then didn't really find my people at JP2. And then had a good friend that went to Hilton Head Christian and kind of realized that I found my people there this year. But it's really good to win the tournament. We all played really, really solid, and just good to see hard work pay off.
JP, how fun has it been to work and play with these teammates, both Hilton and Christian County Hilton Prep, but especially these two, and Gabe's and Sage, and how have they helped push your play better and kind of, both ways? How have you guys kind of improved your play throughout the years and just throughout this season to achieve that ultimate goal and win a state championship?
Yes, sir. They helped me a lot recently. Like right before the season, I started playing with Gabe a lot more, and he really helped me out with different parts of my game and helped me learn how to actually practice and get the best out of my practice that I could possibly get. And then we would always play on the weekends, and it's just good competitiveness, gets you ready for the tournaments. It's always fun.
Now, I know Sage is only a freshman. Gabe, you're what, a junior, a senior, and
Sophomore.
JP, you're a young guy, right? Wait, you're a sophomore?
Yes, sir.
Oh, goodness sakes.
Wow.
So how old are you, JP?
I'm also a sophomore.
Wow.
All right, so we got a little budding dynasty here potentially, and no pressure, but all three of the top three guys coming back, and tell us about some of the other guys who contributed to this state title and could contribute to many more in the future.
Yeah, I'd say the reason we won that state title is because of those guys that put their best rounds of the year together, and that was Philip Court and Chris Wynn. They were our little helpers in that tournament, and we could not have done even close to what we did without them. And all the credit goes to them in that state championship, and they deserve it just as much as we do.
And that's huge. I mean, 1 stroke, 2 strokes. This was only a 2-stroke deficit, so every shot made a world of difference. So to see Chris Wynn post that score that he did and deliver some clutch shots throughout the tournament, and that's the difference. That's what takes. Everybody plays a role, and even some of the more depth guys, your number 4 guy, and then still your number 5 guy is important too, because you want to find a way to post low scores. If one of the other guys kind of slips up, you have that depth guy there. So everyone brought it. Everyone was outstanding the whole way through. Both these two. Philip Court with a nice 79. Chris Wynn very consistent 81-80. So a couple of solid scores to push you guys over the top in a back and forth battle with Hilton Head Prep. So Sage, I got to saw you play in person a few weeks ago at the Prep Cup over at Wexford and Long Cove. Just tell me about that experience of playing that tournament, how that setting prepared you for this opportunity.
Yeah, I think that was really cool, and I would say that helped me because it helped me be able to play with the lead, and that I clearly didn't capitalize on it in that tournament, but able to do it at states, and that's really what matters. I was able to help my team, but the Prep Cup's a great tournament. That was one of their favorite tournaments every year, and hosted Wexford and Long Cove. I know Gabe's a big fan of Wexford, and that tournament wasn't great for the whole team, but we definitely learned what we're capable of on the first day there. And yeah, that was a cool tournament. We enjoyed it.
Well, and it's all I mean, it's a process, right? I mean, you
Mhm.
play that many events during the season so that you can put yourself in situations and see how you respond and make adjustments and try to be at your best at the end of the season when it matters most. And you guys were able to do that. So credit to you. I know that all you guys probably train year round outside. Who are you guys working with? Who have been the people in your corner who have helped you get to this point? Take each of you have your turn.
So my coach his name's Tim Cook. He's also Sage's coach. He's a really good
Yep.
coach.
Very good.
I just started with him last year at the beginning of golf season, and he's greatly helped my game. Really, really good stuff has gone on with my swing after I started going with him. It's really helped a lot.
All right, Gabe, who are you working with?
I work with Jason Sutton. He's the director of instruction at Colleton River.
Okay,
Very cool.
outstanding. Yeah. I mean, that's one thing you guys have access to in this area that not everybody does. Is man, there are so many high level instructors, and you can find one that really fits well for you. If I'm not mistaken, Tim works with Bryson Nimmer, right?
He does. He works with Bryson Nimmer and then Carson Young, who was a budding rookie. He finished, I think, 19th at the Heritage, so he got in on a sponsor's exemption and he capitalized on it. So that was really cool to see. And yeah, so I also work with Tim, and like JP said, but this will be my third year working with him. It was a real cool connection that we made whenever we started working with him because of we were actually up in Minnesota, but this was before he moved back to South Carolina from St. Louis, and we were seeing my uncle up in Minnesota, and we went and played a golf course, and my dad got a lesson because he wasn't playing great, but the guy said, my dad asked him, who would you want Sage to work with? And he said, no question, Tim Cook. He's the best instructor in South Carolina, and I wouldn't have him work with anybody else. And he got my dad on a Zoom call with Tim and just went on from there. Couldn't have asked for a better coach, and very thankful for him.
Well, it certainly worked. Now you are a state champion, both individual and all you guys are state champs as a team now in 3A. It started to sink in. I mean, that's the hard work paying off for you guys. I mean, it's got to be a nice reward there. But then you go right back to work as you get into the summer. What plans are now ahead for you guys as you get ready for the summer, big tournaments, events, and what's in store next?
Yeah, you go. You can go, JP.
Well, I have a couple more tournaments this summer than I had last summer. So just got back from a lesson with Tim yesterday. Just trying to get dialed in before all these tournaments start lining up during the summer, so I could post some good scores and get some points for myself.
Very good. How about you guys?
Yeah, I got a pretty packed summer. Trying to go all over the country, just get tournaments. This is a really big summer for me. Recruiting starts June 15th, so
Right.
kind of got to go play tournaments where the college coaches are.
I'd say
Same,
the
Sage?
opposite for me. So, I mean, it's a freshman year. I get to kind of relax and play golf. Nobody's expecting much out of me. So I get to maybe throw little surprises on the board and see what happens. I know we have a few tournaments in South Carolina that I'm going to make sure I play in, like the Grant Bennett and the Blade and a couple others. But I know Gabe's playing in those as well. So hopefully we'll get a couple more battles under our belt against each other. So
I heard someone mention Bryson Nimmer. How awesome is it to have that role model, that guy who came through Hilton Christian Academy many years ago and found success at Clemson and is now competing in the Korn Ferry to try to get to the PGA Tour. How important is that to have a role model who went to that same school to have someone to look up to?
yeah, I think it's cool. But the interesting thing is that we're creating our own legacy because I think JP might be the only one that actually knew Bryson personally. If I'm not mistaken, did you, JP?
Slightly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Since Gabe and I aren't from this area, we know about Bryson's legacy, and we're trying to live up to that best we can. But it'll be exciting throughout the upcoming years to see what we can stack up against his teams and see if we can do a little better than he did. But I'm excited because we couldn't have asked for a better school to go to historically for golf, and it's really cool.
Yeah, and so cool that you work with the same swing coach too. I mean, that's kind of a cool interconnecting thing there. But so you guys playing a lot of AJGA stuff this summer, or what kind of circuit are you playing on?
Yeah, I'm
Um,
gonna do a couple AJJs this summer, and then mainly stick around with the SCJJ and CGA. But I got about 2 or 3 AJJs this summer.
The good thing here is, I mean, the SCJGA is as good a proving ground as you can find.
Right.
The number of PGA Tour guys who have come out of there is just incredible. So you don't have to stray too far around here to find great competition and great events. But so what are you guys working on? What each of you? What do you have to do to take your games to the next level? Make the statement you want to this summer, and get on the radars and go play college golf.
JP.
I've been playing pretty good lately, and so I just gotta kind of stay there and keep playing that good consistently. And just every once in a while, I'll have to touch up a little something, maybe like putting or just chipping or something little. But other than that, you just have to stay in the groove, not fall off.
I agree with JP on that, and I think the thing about golf that's different than any other sport is that no matter how good you are, you're always working on something to get better.
Yeah.
Like you can be the best quarterback and don't really need to change much, but for golf, you could be Tiger Woods, and he's still working on stuff with his swing. And I think that I'm still learning how to score. I haven't played enough competition to learn how to score real well, and a lot of my mistakes are mental and not great course management. So we'll see where it goes this summer. I'm looking forward to playing in some big tournaments, see if I can make a run at one, and excited.
I think the beauty about golf is you can't play a perfect game. There's always some area to improve, no matter if you're the number one golfer in the world or where you are now. There's always something that you can improve on. How have you really embraced that mentality throughout your career and continue to find ways to improve and get better to achieve the goal that you are now as a state champion?
I think it's just taking, no matter if it's a good round or bad round, just taking something from it. Even the bad rounds, we might learn have better takeaways, even if it's a good round. So like bad rounds, take away what you did wrong, work on it, and then just get that better, and then go play better golf.
Yeah, I always tell my baseball kids, we love mistakes. Don't be upset about mistakes. Mistakes are how we get better. You can't get better if you never make mistakes. So, embrace those and learn from them, make the adjustment, and go forward stronger. So, well, congratulations to all you guys on the state championship. Thanks so much for taking time with us. And we look forward to following you this summer because, we don't have a whole lot going on. So, so we keep pretty close tabs on junior golf. So we'll definitely be looking for your names in those leaderboards, and don't be a stranger to hit us up and let us know if you're playing well. Send us some video or photos or whatever, and we'll give you some love on the Loco Network.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a good one.
Thanks so much, guys. And there we go. Good stuff there with those guys. I love talking to the young folks and exposing them to the process of media and giving them a chance to celebrate their success. Really impressed that Sage is just a freshman and the other two fellows just sophomores. Just really impressive young men with great heads on their shoulders and bright futures, I think.
Yeah, I mean, futures could not be much brighter for all those three kids. Winning a state championship, and they're all so young, sophomores and freshmen. So I think great things are in store. And I'm just excited to see how they compete and how they, build on what they did this spring over to the summer and play in some high caliber events. That's going to teach you a lot. And as we said in the interview, I mean, mistakes I think that's a beauty in golf. I mean, you're not going to play a perfect round. You're going to find things to improve on. And especially when you're playing up against top competition, it's going to force you to get even better. So I think this summer is going to be a big one for all three of those young men. They're going to have some ups and downs throughout the way, but it's all in the big picture. You're going towards that big process again. But at the same time, you want to take it step by step, round by round, shot by shot, and continue to better your game in any way you can. So it's a fun journey to be on as a golfer. It's an arduous journey. Bryson Nimmer can tell you that. Anybody can tell you that on the golf circuit, but a very rewarding one if you do it the right way and just continue to grind, trust yourself, trust the process, and look to find that success. So wish all three of those golfers well. Terrific young men, and we could have a budding dynasty in our hands over Hilton Head Christian Academy.
Yeah, they're going to, I mean, Hilton Head Prep will have something to say about it.
Right.
They're going to be good year after year after year, but they're going to have some great battles every year.
Yeah.
You can guarantee that. And there's always some movement there too. People just move around. And like Gabe said, he went to JP2 and it just didn't feel right. He didn't find his people, went looking somewhere else. And that can happen from time to time.
And it's just cool to have that, competitive rivalry like at the top for state championships between – and it's cool because they're still friends at the end of the day, and they love to compete and get each other better. So you look at the other end, you look at Hilton Head Prep, that's going to be a major, fueling factor for those guys. To come up short just by a couple of strokes, and they, they're friends at the end of the day. They know each other well, but they're going to want to come out on top as well. So just looking at the other side, this could do big things as also for those Hilton Head Prep golfers like Jack Rousseau, like G. Patrick, Tag Graziano, Cade Crispinos, and Garrett Bader going forward.
Yeah, and they've got some young guys too. And then JP2, I saw they finished 7th, and they had 7th and 8th and 9th graders playing. So, there's just so much young talent. These guys know each other so well through the junior golf circuit. They've played tournaments against each other for years and years. And at the end of the day, this is just another tournament. They're going to play so many of them, but certainly it feels really good when you win the one that carries a title like state championship. So speaking of kids with bright futures, a pioneer in girls wrestling over at Bluffton High School, Siobhan Rogers signed to wrestle at Quincy University in Illinois. You were over there, and we've got a little bit of video footage. But Siobhan is, we think of Zeo Estrada at Hilton Head as kind of the leading lady of Loco wrestling, but Siobhan was one of the pioneers too. She was one of the very first ones wrestling over at Bluffton, and I remember seeing her early on, and she had a lot of success. And then I noticed that they had probably the largest contingent aside from Hilton Head are right there alongside them this year of girls wrestling. And you have to give her a lot of credit for that, for blazing the trail and just making it okay for girls to go out and do it. And I'm really impressed with her. I've seen her play soccer. I've seen her play volleyball. I think soccer. I know I've seen her play volleyball. Just a really hard-nosed athlete, and really excited that she gets the opportunity to continue to wrestle.
Yeah, and what a fantastic story. That young lady is just phenomenal. I've never sensed the word. Terrific in the classroom and just an unbelievable athlete, no matter what the sport is. But she found her niche coming in here in Bluffton to wrestle. Moved over here during the pandemic in 2020. They came from Las Vegas over here to Hilton Head, over to Bluffton, to the Low Country, and they, it's definitely a big transition when you move across the country, trying to kind of fit in and find that role. And wrestling really spoke to her as a sport that she found her passion in, and when she absolutely hit the ground running in that discipline, and eventually ended up winning the girls' state title, ended up competing nationally and performing well there. And give a lot of credit to Neil Nutter, who he took her under his wing, and it's definitely because that was the first girl that he was with in terms of coaching. So it was a big burden on his part and a lot of responsibility to do the job right. And I thought Neil Nutter and that coaching staff did a terrific job, and just cannot have enough words to as proud as I am, just extremely proud of what we've seen here with Siobhan, an absolute trailblazer, and has just set a great example for so many female wrestlers to come about what you can do. You can find this passion, and you can use it to get a scholarship into college, further your education. And she has set an example that I think a lot of young ladies are going to follow in the future, not just at Bluffton, but across here in the Low Country. Just what an amazing person to talk to. I love the place of the interview. That was a terrific conversation about her story and her journey, and just about her passion and love for the sport. So I don't know if you have that pulled up, but definitely worth it to hear from Siobhan. I hear what she has to say about it.
I don't have that one handy. I'm trying to find it, but we can certainly get to it after the break if we take a moment. And actually, it's not very high quality, the one that came through from you. So
all right, well,
I don't know if we'll be able to play that, but we'll see if we can cue it up after the break. But let's take a quick break.
Either way, just fantastic young lady who's going to find success, I think, not just over at wrestling, but whatever she does next. Great head on her shoulders and just an outstanding human being that's going to do great things.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's take a quick break and hear from our sponsors, and we'll be back with some more spring sports headlines, some more shout outs to former Loco stars doing big things, and our actual Loco shout outs for our performers and teams of the week, all coming up here on the Loco Sports Lowdown after the ad break.
Hey Loco sports fans, this podcast and all of our grassroots local sports content are made possible by support from community sponsors, including Mickelson Law Firm, the official real estate attorneys of Loco Sports, and the presenting sponsor of our Hilton Head Christian Academy coverage. Our original sponsors are still among our greatest supporters. Ryan and Tiffany Mickelson are community pillars who will be in your corner no matter your legal needs. When you need legal representation, call on the attorneys who support Team Loco. Call Mickelson Law Firm. Hospice Care of the Lowcountry, the official hospice provider of Loco Sports, and the only not-for-profit hospice in southern Beaufort County. For more than 30 years, the committed, compassionate staff at Hospice Care of the Lowcountry have been there to ensure your loved ones find comfort, honor, and dignity at the end of life. Because at Hospice Care of the Lowcountry, it's not about dying, it's about living. Homegrown Home Inspections, the official home inspectors of Loco Sports. Jan Lucas and his team provide thorough, detailed home inspections aimed to ensure everyone goes into the transaction with open eyes and confidence. Jan would rather reveal an inconvenient truth than look the other way and provide reassurances that could come back to burn the buyer in the long run. If you're looking to buy or sell a home and need an honest, reliable inspector, call on Homegrown Home Inspections, official sponsors of Loco Sports. DDS Web Design, official SEO experts of Loco Sports. If your business or organization has a website and you're trying to figure out what SEO is, you need to call on Denise and Dave Sinkovich at DDS Web Design. They'll provide a free consultation and do all the behind-the-scenes work to boost your search engine optimization and get your website found online so you can take your business to the next level. DDS Web Design, official SEO experts of Loco Sports. American Wood Reface, sustaining sponsors of Loco Sports. Does your kitchen need a facelift? Before you start picking out new cabinets, give Ben and the team at American Wood Reface a shot. They can reface your existing cabinets to overhaul your aesthetic without the hefty price tag and reimagine your kitchen at a price point you can manage. Be sure to tell them Loco sent you, because every referral helps support Loco Sports. 4M Metals, sustaining sponsor of Loco Sports. Got metal? Your roof might need it. Metal roofing advantages include better energy efficiency, weather protection, longevity, a more aesthetically pleasing design, and the product is all green. So if you've been thinking about a new roof, go metal. Let 4M Metals be the difference in your roof. Jay's Barbershop. It's the talk of the town and the place to be in Ridgeland. If you need your ears lowered, head over to Jay's for a fresh cut and great conversation with good folks. And tell them Loco sent you. Local Pie, official pizza sponsor of Loco Sports. They sling some of the best pies in the Loco, and my kids say the mac and cheese is the best around. Hungry? Hit up Local Pie, longtime supporter of Loco Sports. Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry, the official floor cleaners of LocoSports.com. If your feet tell you your floors need cleaning, call on Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry. They provide residential and commercial services, including cleaning carpet and area rugs, tile and grout, upholstery, curtains and drapes, mattresses, and more. But most importantly, they'll get those floors so clean, your feet will thank them. Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry. Hilton Head Prep is a sustaining sponsor of Loco Sports, and we tell you all about the Dolphins' athletic exploits. But did you know it's also the #1 ranked private K-12 school in Beaufort County and ranks in the top 2.5% of schools nationwide? Visit hhprep.org to see what Hilton Head Prep has to offer. Beaufort Academy is a sustaining sponsor of Loco Sports, and we love covering the Eagles. With a student-to-faculty ratio of 7-to-1 and an average class size of 14 students, Beaufort Academy could be just the educational solution you're looking for, with more one-on-one attention. BA has a strong history of working with the whole child to prepare each student for college and life. Check them out at BeaufortAcademy.org. Thank you to all of our sustaining and supporting sponsors for their support of LocoSports.com. Go Loco!
All right, we're back on another episode of the Loco Sports Lowdown. Justin Jarrett, joined by Wes Kerr. Thanks so much to all of our sponsors for supporting what we do here and shining a light on these kids. Absolutely our pleasure, but we couldn't do it without you. So thanks so much for supporting us. And if you'd like to become a sponsor, you can reach me on email at locosports@gmail.com. And I would love to talk to you about that and helping to continue to grow and do what we do here, but continuing to scale up and do more of it and shine a light on more kids. And Wes, it's been an awesome spring so far. It's starting to wind down. We've got some headlines to look over. You mentioned it at the top. May River Boys Lacrosse, the last team to bow out, falling in the semifinals to Lucy Beckham, the defending state champ, who I suspect is going to have a real Donnybrook with AC Flora for the title, is my guess. Hilton Head High boys tennis, you were over there yesterday. They got the win against West Florence 5-1. So they're moving on to the quarterfinals where they'll face either Flora or Beckham. They did not get that one in last night, so they're waiting to finish that and find out who the Seahawks will play on Monday. If it's Beckham, they'll be at home. If it's Flora, they'll be on the road. So we'll have to wait and see about that. They're the only tennis team left in the high school league playoffs. Colleton County softball and James Island baseball wrapping up the region titles. Colleton had the one loss. They split with James Island, but then James Island slipped up against May River. So they sneak in there and grab it. James Island undefeated in region play, although May River gave them a couple good fights there at the end. And then Hilton Head Prep girls soccer knocking off JP2 and Hilton Head Christian in region. And then they beat BA the other night. So I think they've won 6 in a row. They're on a good roll. JP2 boys fought back to win last night, 2-1 over Hilton Head Christian after HHCA girls won in PKs. I was there for the shootout. That was fun right before it started raining. So busy week. What jumps out to you from the headlines?
Yeah, I mean, another packed week of spring sports as we get towards the playoffs. Loved watching the Colleton County softball team. That was a battle for that region title, and that offense was just on fire to end the season. People up in 20-10. Shandy Brown, Akilich, everybody going off at the plate. I mean, just incredible what they're able to do. 21 hits, and they're able to work blocks, get players on base, and they swing the bat well. That is going to be a tough team to go up against because of that offensive prowess. And Bailey Cox, if you can find in the circle, that Colleton team could be very, very dangerous. But certainly it's going to rest on the shoulders of that pitching staff to hold the other team down. So I'm really excited to see how that playoff run goes for Colleton County. Congratulations to the Cougars. That Hilton Head Prep team has really been finding it. Ashley Brothers has been an absolute star this year. Terrific goal scorer, but you got Bryn Miller, Caladondo, who had 2 goals and 2 assists against Beaufort Academy. So Hilton Head Prep really has started to ramp it up on the soccer field. That's a team that has been knocking on the door of some deep playoff runs these last few years. They've had some really good players come through in the past. Yeah. So, and Ashley Brothers is just an 8th grader. So they've got some exceptional young talent over there and a great team overall over at Hilton Head Prep. And we'll see how it fares for them. Playoff brackets, I know baseball and softball I know baseball's out for SCISA. I'll check and see some of the other sports. They should be coming out soon, if not already. But, man, that James Island baseball team, I don't care who you play, to have that long region streak that they're having is super impressive, especially if you have to go against the gauntlet is May River, Hilton Head, Bluffton, and to be unbeaten and perfect throughout that entire region season. Just really impressive what they've been able to do and how consistent they've been able to be. That is becoming the gold standard baseball program, not just in this area, but in the state of South Carolina 4A. And I think that team is as talented as any to look to take home the title. And it's going to be a fantastic postseason over there for 4A baseball. But in losing effort, Tyson Brasington, he can do it on both on the mound and at the plate. Had a really nice start. Gave up just 3 earned runs through 5 innings and then went 4 for 4 at the plate earlier in the week. So really strong performance from Tyson Brasington, who has become a heck of a piece of that May River team. And then we weren't able to talk this here on this pod, but Charlie Saws with 11 Ks, Patrick Henry shutting out Hilton and Christian Academy 6-0. That was a shot win, or a statement win and a shutout win. However, Christian Academy getting them back in the rematch. So very exciting split over there on the baseball side, with HHGA taking the second game by a score of
13-3. Yeah,
right.
13-3.
Steelbird, Sladebird, the Bird brothers doing the job there for the HHE Eagles in that win.
And Ben Eddy pitched very well in that game too, because that Patrick Henry lineup's no joke.
Yeah.
Eddie's been solid the last couple times I've seen him.
Yeah. Hilton Head High getting the 2 seed despite being shut out by Lucy Beckham. I thought they played a strong game. They lost. They left a ton of guys on base, and that happens. That's baseball. Sometimes you just it doesn't work out. You run to a good starter, and you just can't find a way to scrap runners across. But still the 2 seed out of the region, and with guys like Jake Richardson, Connor Wendell's really impressed me. He's been a 2-way star. Ethan Russo's been a nice cleanup guy, good hitter in the middle of the lineup. So that's a scrappy Joe Clark-led team. Good to see them back in the playoffs because they had some years where they missed a few years, or last year before that. So, good to see Hilton back in the postseason on the baseball side. So good for the Seahawks. And then, boys tennis for Hilton and I. We saw the girls win the state title. Maybe the boys can follow up here. And that was a strong win over West Florence to book their spot in the 3rd round. And some great history, some great success over the years for that program. And good to see them now competing for a state title. Alex Druckno following that Hewitt Dawkins in the tiebreaker, but everybody else took care of business. Leo Nedkov 6-2, 6-1 in the first singles sprint Pagapaton.
He's good.
Russell, Fisher Kavanaugh, and Luke Danzel and Henry Boatwright all with victories.
Leo's real good.
Yeah.
He's very good. Buford bowed out. They lost 4-2 to Camden, but Diego Alvarez and the defending champ Graham Angus both go into the singles tournament. So we'll see how they fare up there. And I'm sure we'll have plenty of representation in that tennis singles tournament. But I think Hilton Head's got a great shot to keep rolling for another round and potentially get to the state championship match. I think James Island came through on the other side too. So our region always very strong.
And one game that we forgot to talk about, JP2 boys soccer edging Hilton Christian 2-1. That was a battle.
It was
this past night. Jackson Ogden with the goal and assist, and then Austin O'Quinn, who has been terrific in goal over these years, 7 saves, some key stops on Hilton Christian Academy. And the back line did their job and limited HHH to that 1 goal. So Warriors get the region title, and they still, I guess soccer is still another week left of the regular season.
Yeah, they don't start until the 8th and 9th, the first round, and they play it all in 1 week. The state championships are on the 13th, so it's bam, bam, bam. You got to play 3 in a short period to win the state title. So that'll be quick. But we do have Skiza baseball brackets. We do. Patrick Henry, inexplicably a 2 seed, despite being an undefeated region champ. We don't really understand that, but whatever. They still got to beat Dorchester either way, right? So now you just got to win. You still got to win 1 at home and 1 on the road.
Right. It's a best of 3 in 2A.
Yeah, so there you go. And then 3A bracket, we got on this half of the bracket, we got Hilton Head Christian against Spartanburg Christian. So they'll get, home field advantage in that first round, and then would have to play Williamsburg with 2 out of the 3 being on the road. And then on the other half of the bracket, you got Hilton Head Prep 20-3 with a number 1 seed and a favorable path, although certainly that, that semifinal matchup there with PD Academy would be a really good battle. And it's a double elimination situation in this one. So you got 2 out of 3 in the 2A bracket, but it's a more traditional double elimination 2 half brackets thing with the 3A. So you could get a Hilton Head Christian, Hilton Head Prep final, best 2 out of 3 final. That would be fantastic. That would be a dream scenario.
Yes, that's what we want right there. We had in basketball, so that'd be cool to get in baseball, and we get probably, it's a best of 3, so we'll probably get 1 there, 1 Hilton Head Christian, 1 Hilton Head Prep, and we have to have a third. It'll be a neutral site, which who knows what that'll be. But that'll be fun to see a final series between Prep and Christian Academy. But it's so hard to predict what happens in these baseball playoffs. But Hilton Head Prep, you mentioned this before. Really, all comes down to how they're able to swing the bats, and if you can get runners on, and if your pitchers can, they do their job and throw strikes, pitch into contact. Can put up some runs on the board? Can you scrap across some base runners? And they've always done a good job of battling and extending counts, getting on base via walks. Chris Wells, he's a veteran. He knows how to coach playoff baseball. That's a team that they've come up short a couple of years, although they had to play against the cream of the crop the last few years in 3A. Some of those now in 4A, so it kind of opens the door for one of those teams to make a run. So certainly think Hilton Head Prep at the 1 seed. They got a strong path, although PD Academy, I think you're looking at that's the team that could find a way to knock them off. So Greenwood Christian has had a strong year as well, and I expect them to take good care of business in their first round game. But it's never easy to flip the switch and get straight into that playoff intensity over there for the baseball side, because every pitch matters. It's just sometimes a few mistakes, that one error, and that determines that can kind of snowball. And you've seen it before. It's the defense is so key when it comes to that level of baseball.
Well, and you just have a guy who doesn't have it one day and can't find the strike zone, and all of a sudden you find yourself down 4 or 5-0, and you can't dig out and you lose, and now you're in a must-win situation the rest of the way, and it's tough. It's a lot has to go right, and you definitely need to be efficient on the mound. Save your bullets, because you only got so many, and if guys can throw strikes and get through complete games or just eat up innings, I mean, it really helps you down the road, because it becomes a battle of attrition at the end. Who's got the arms left to be able to get outs, because you got to get 21 of them somehow, and
especially if you're coming from a loser's bracket where you got to beat one team twice in such a short time. You got to have the arms, got to have the depth, the pitching depth to be with you, and it would be nice to get a guy come in and work a full game, if not close to it, and save some of those arms. So it's definitely the manager has a key role, I think, more so in baseball than in softball, some other sports, mostly baseball, because you have to be smart. You have to know when to take a guy out, keep him in, and especially with the pitch count situation. I do not envy the job of some of those managers to have to know those numbers and determine what to do, because it's a challenging task in of itself.
Oh yeah, you're not kidding. I mean, try being a travel ball coach and all your kids are playing middle school baseball too, and you got to try to keep tabs on who pitched this week so they can't pitch this weekend, and it's a lot, and we're not actually bound by it. We just follow it, self-imposed guidelines, but they're bound by it at the high school level. So you got to know that guy's down until, if he throws this many pitches, he's down until Thursday, and we got to play again Wednesday. And there's a lot of calculation that goes into that, and trying to figure out where you're going to get your 21 outs from one day to the next. But looking forward to playoff stuff firing up on Monday. And like I said,
speaking of baseball, how about one of our very own earning some big recognition at the college level? We've talked about him all year, but Bennett Romer, your South Atlantic Conference Freshman of the Year. What a season for the former Maryville Shark, now killing over at Newberry.
And an all-conference, first team all-conference pick as well. So, just a phenomenal season. Can't say enough about the work that kid put in to transform himself from, a good high school player to an all-conference pitcher as a freshman in Newberry. And we're talking about a top 10 Division II team here that he has become kind of the ace. He's the stopper. He's the go-to guy that they know is going to give him a great outing every week. And just a tremendous season for him. Hoping to see him get a great opportunity this summer to go play. I know that Darren Horn, or Buddy Mullis, got the call the other day from Horn that he's going to the Cape this summer. So we'll see. So we'll see where Bennett is pitching this summer. But the Cape, that's the dream.
Elite talent right there, but
Team Loco trip to the Cape this summer.
Oh yeah, that would be fun. But Romer 7.0, 3.09 ERA, 61 strikeouts. The command has been quite impressive this year, and he's been able to eat up a lot of innings and just have that consistency at the mound to get the job done and keep his opponents off the board. It's been very impressive, and the seamless transition doesn't always happen that way, but he has he's worked over there from day one, and it's been a fun story to keep tabs on him. And they're going to go as much as he goes on the mound. You got to think as they get ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, no doubt. He's going to be a key part of it. And speaking of kids doing big things, how about our old friend Dior Shelton? She's on the market, coaches. She's in the transfer portal, and she's got another line to add to her resume. Church Mutual named her, gave her the Protecting the Greater Good scholarship. Just a really cool honor for her, a terrific person, terrific family. We've gotten to know her family very well, and just really happy for the success she continues to have. And what a great honor for a wonderful young woman.
Yeah, it's been great to cover Dior and her entire family. I mean, just the support that we've seen from her father, Wellington, and her mother as well. I mean, it's been great to
Ball mom Brenda
and follow and kind of see what Dior's been up to, but just the dedication that she's shown, especially Hilton at Christian Academy, when she really broke out that junior year and carried it over to that senior season, winning that state title. A really special player with so many talents on the court, whether it's rebounding, whether it's just elite defense, finding ways to get the ball in the hands of her teammates. She's been always been a team player, but also knows when to make the plays herself. And she's just been has a great passion and love for the game. So it's been fun to watch her play at the college level. Excited to see where she ends up, but also she's a fantastic young woman off the court, and she has the awards and recognition and the scholarship now to prove it. So she's doing great in the classroom, and just a all-around amazing ambassador for the Loco and now for her school so far at the college level. And just so excited to follow her career. And Wellington Shelton, keep us updated, because we know there will be a lot more accolades in store for Miss Dior Shelton.
Yeah, no question. And cool accolade last night. I wasn't watching, you were, but during the NFL draft, they had an honorary first overall pick, and one of the guys that they honored was former Woodland High School football player Lavelle Davis, who was one of the students at the University of Virginia, right? Who was killed in the mass shooting on campus there. Just a terrible story, but a very heartwarming moment last night, honoring the legacy of a young man who, frankly, taken from us too soon by senseless gun violence, but had his moment, not the one he wanted, but had his moment at the NFL draft.
Yeah, a very touching decision and a great moment for the league to honor all three of those young men who were just tragically taken away very much too soon. Lavelle Davis, Devin Chandler, and Deshaun Perry, formerly for the Virginia Cavaliers. But Lavelle Davis, coming up here right from the Loco, or right in the outskirts, the
upper Loco
in Woodland High School. And that's been a great football tradition, great place to play over the years. And Lavelle Davis made a lot of impacts over there, and just so sad to see his life taken through just terrible, proceedings that continue to happen, sadly, throughout this country, and gun violence. And we need to find a way to stop it. It's not going to be easy, but it's taking the lives of too many young people, adults. We need to find a way to overcome just this senseless violence that we've seen throughout this country. So it's just sad to see, to have them honored this way, but at the same time, just an amazing touch by the NFL to honor these three young men and the contribution they made to the game by giving them honorary first overall picks of the draft, and having that spotlight for the entire country to see all that these young men accomplished, but to also just understand the tragedy and how we need to just think of things differently and find a way to stop this gun violence across the country.
Yeah, I mean, sadly, I knew in my head it was Virginia, but for a second I go, wait, no, the shooting was at Virginia Tech. No, that was a different shooting. I mean, it's just awful how many times this has happened, and we're still saying we got to do something about it. Like it's way past time, and we're talking about college students terrorized by it. We're talking about elementary students terrorized by it. There was a clip from last year of gunshots ringing out while kids are playing baseball in North Charleston. And I just, it's a terrifying thing that with, like you said, no easy solutions, but the solutions to big problems never are easy, and we've got to find our way through it, for our kids and keep them safe. So I think it starts with the kids. That's how we break the cycle. Is the next generation just has to make the decision to put the guns down, stay away from it, and end the violence. And much easier said than done. But hopefully the kids that do listen to us are maybe taking that to heart and understanding that it's not the solution. There's other ways. Leave the guns alone, leave the violence alone, find other ways to make amends and in a peaceful way and make the world a little bit better place. So definitely a heartwarming thing, but a heavy subject with Lavelle Davis being honored at the NFL draft. And let's lighten things up a little bit before we take off for the weekend. Let's give out some Loco shout outs, and I'll let you have the first crack at honoring some teams and athletes who really stood out this week.
Yeah, well, I think we got to start with the newly crowned state champion, Sage Bradshaw of Hilton Head Christian Academy, taking the individual title and also winning it for the team for Hilton Head Christian Academy. What an honor it was to not just meet him, but meet his parents when he was playing in the Prep Cup that I mentioned during the interview. I got to talk with his dad and just hear about his journey and how he, began to play golf and how he's become so passionate about it. And just great to, talk with parents and, watch Sage play. What a great young man, just a freshman. And he already looks the part of veteran out there on the golf course, and just a kind individual who has grown a passion for the sport he loves. So, it's been an honor to follow Sage so far, and I think he could have quite a career in store for him at HHGA if he keeps this up throughout these next 3 years. And really excited to see how he does this summer. As he said, not as much pressure after your freshman year. You still got time to improve on your own pace, and you don't have to worry about the next level as much before you get to these next few years. So I think it's going to be a good, fun, and exciting summer for Sage Bradshaw here in 2023, and so much to look forward to with him. And then for my team of the week, I'm going to go with the Hilton Head Prep girls soccer Dolphins. I got to see them in action. They have amped it up these last few games. They are looking like a contending squad in Class 3A. Absolutely downing Hilton Head Christian Academy, and it really wasn't close. They had complete control of the possession, generating chances right from the start. Great passing, great awareness. They've been hitting on some long balls. Just the way they approach their attack and the speed, the quickness of those girls, and just their IQ of the game. A lot really stood out there. And man, Avery Brothers, just well beyond her years. I say Avery. I meant to say there's so many of her sisters.
So many brothers.
Yeah, so many brothers, but their sisters. Ashley Brothers is who I was trying to refer to.
Avery graduated, right?
Yeah, she did. But Ashley Brothers is the 8th grader that we're talking about here. 2 goals and assist against BA. She also scored 2 in that win over Hilton Head Prep, won a penalty kick. So she has been an absolute star and just an 8th grader, and so much more time to develop. We'll see if she stays Hilton Head Prep or decides to go also in the future, but she's definitely making a name for herself with the Dolphins already. Calendando, I mentioned earlier, with 2 goals and 2 assists in that game against BA as well. And then Bryn Miller, who has been an absolute stud in multiple facets on the field for 2 goals as well. And then Haley Klinger with an assist in that game. So Hilton Head Prep getting it done over there in the soccer field. I'm really impressed by what I'm seeing from them, and I think that's a team that could definitely go deep and contend for a state championship in Class 3A, a team that, like I said, they've been getting close these last few years. They've had some talented players come through, but this is the year I think everything is starting to click for them, although JP2, remember a couple weeks ago, they were right on the door as well. That's a team that could definitely sneak up not too far off the pace of Hilton Head Prep. So not going to be easy for the Dolphins, but I think they're the most complete team here in the Loco in terms of skis and girls soccer, and just riding off a couple wins this week. So really impressed by that team overall as they get to fine-tune now before the playoffs. And I believe one more game against HHGA next week.
Yeah, and I think they played JP2 again too, don't they? Yeah, because they played twice, but one was a replay of the one. So, yeah, they've got a big week this week, but they're definitely rolling. And, I think I like the way they build their schedule. Risa plays a really tough schedule early. she plays some private or some public schools and some really quality opponents, and she's not afraid to get beat up early and be sitting at 4-4 or whatever, and then rattle off 6 in a row. I like what they do
HHC on
there.
Tuesday and JP2 on Thursday. So
yeah, so that's two really good matchups too, because I mean both HHCA beat JP2 last night. That's a pretty even. There's a lot of parity in that region, and obviously, strategy adjustments can really change a matchup from one to the next if you make some smart adjustments. So that's going to be interesting for sure. I got to give some shout outs to some baseball players. And by the way, don't feel bad about getting the wrong sibling name. That just means you're getting older like me. I'm getting to the point now where I'm starting to call kids by their dad's names. I almost called JP Reed Pratt a couple of times because, when you know their parents, that's just part of old age, Wes. But I got to give some shout outs to some no-hitters because, I mean, you can't just let a no-hitter go by the board, no matter who it's against. So Hunter Smith, Battery Creek, had a no-hitter on Tuesday against Whale Branch, 4-inning no-hitter. So, caveat. But only walked one, struck out 13. Terrific outing for Hunter Smith. And then last night, JP2 did not get into the SCISA playoffs, unfortunately. They had a really good late season surge. I thought maybe they'd sneak in there, but they did not. But they finished off their regular season last night, beating Bridges Prep 13-0. Ross Putnam, 5-inning no-hitter, did not walk anybody. He hit one batter. That was all he allowed, was one hit batsman. He struck out 10. So terrific outing for him. And Logan Cotter went 3 for 3 with a double, a triple, 2 runs, and 3 RBIs. So great game to close out the season for a young JP2 team that really showed some mettle down the stretch. And then, I'll give some love to that HHCA girls soccer team. They've taken their lumps this year, but they had a really nice win in PKs last night against JP2. I got to see the shootout. It was good times, and it was a really hard fought battle. So don't count those girls out either as you look toward the playoffs.
Trinity Grace Maxwell is an absolute. She's the truth in goal for JP2, and she made a save as you would expect on a PK. 15 saves on the night for Trinity Grace Maxwell. She's been unbelievable, keeping JP2 right in these games. That's why I think that Hilton Prep, you got to be on your toes, because when you have that kind of goalkeeping like that, it makes it tough to score for on that side for the Prep. But HHCA, what a great battle, and great resiliency. After getting beat 4-0 against your rival, come back and pick up hard fought win penalty kicks. So.
Trinity Grace stopped 2 in the shootout, but Reese, what is Reese's last name? The number 1 right there for Hillman Christian Academy. Reese, she was terrific. She stopped 3 of them. One of them banged off the crossbar. But it was a heck of a shootout. I thought when Trinity stopped a couple, I thought that was going to be enough, but JP2 couldn't convert down the stretch.
Yeah, these teams they're right neck and neck with each other. I mean, it's really fun to watch this round robin between these three sides, and I think that JP2 Hilton Prep game is going to be a lot of fun. I think Hilton Christian County I think they'll compete a little harder in that second game. I expect the game to be a little closer than what we saw a week ago. So I think Hilton Christian Academy is powered up from a big time win against a region rival in JP2. I expect the Eagles to come out with a better foot forward in that rivalry game, and then I'm very excited for what we can see on Thursday with JP2 and Hilton Prep, and just a couple of fantastic teams, girls soccer depth around the area. We've talked all about Region 7-4 and how good that is, but we got a ton of great SCISA quality teams up there too.
Yeah, and BA's having a solid year too. Holy Trinity's always a quality team. So there's a lot of really good soccer players in the area for sure. So they're just kind of splintered out in so many different places that you don't have it concentrated in one program necessarily. But lots of good soccer and lots of good playoff soccer ahead. So that's going to do it for this episode, Wes. We are closing in on an hour, but thanks so much to the guys from HHCA, Sage Bradshaw, JP Reed, and Gabe Schmitz for jumping in with us. A million thanks to all of our sponsors, and most of all, thanks to you for listening or watching. It's going to be a great weekend. We look forward to seeing some more sports out there this weekend and going into next week. But enjoy yourself, enjoy the outdoors here in the Loco, and until next time, go Loco. The Loco Sports Lowdown Podcast is a production of Loco Media LLC and LocoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LocoSports to keep us going and growing. Go Loco!